Hi, I'm Casey Deary, and today I'm going to talk you through the steps that I use to get my 2-year-old started. Now, we start them at various stages. I want to make sure that they're strong enough to carry me, that we're not going to do any damage. But I also will tailor each program for that individual horse. If I have one that's a little small, we may spend 30 days walking around or trail riding, putting some miles on them before we start doing a lot of work. But I'm going to talk you through a few steps here. This filly has already been through the round pen program, and that involves getting them to move away from us where we can step in front of them and send them the other way, and where they'll face us whenever we stop and back off of them. We like to do that to make sure that we have their brain somewhat connected to us. So in the beginning here, when I'm starting these colts, I like to put on a pair of leather hobbles, and what this does for me is it allows me to control her feet and give me a little bit of an advantage in the beginning, just having a little more control on her. But B, it also keeps her where she can't get running around and jumping around and get too worried about it. So anytime I can control their feet, I have a better chance of controlling their brain. So in the beginning of putting these on, she's had these on before, so I hope she's pretty quiet about it. In the beginning, they can be a little bit squirrely about it, so I always make sure that my knees are facing the horse's back end here. I never want to put these on standing here where if this baby jumps forward, it's going to kick me in the face or in the chest. If I have my knees facing back towards her hind end and she jumps, she's going to kick me in the back of the arm or the back of the leg, and everything's going to go forward, and it's going to hurt, but it's not going to cripple me. So I like to make sure that I can keep my knees going backwards. Oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetie. Obviously, if I have a real nasty one, I'm going to be a little more cautious about it. But I want to make sure I can pick that up and she knows it's on there. And then I'm going to put her leg down and buckle this other one and give her a little bit of room. So you notice that I have the rope in my hand here to where I can get a hold of her if I need to. And then I'm just going to slowly push her over and let her feel it, okay? Now in the beginning, they're going to jump around and they're going to hop around and they're going to fight that a little bit. I just want to make sure that she understands when her feet are hobbled there that they're not to move. When I get that spot done, then I'm ready to move forward. Good girl. So then I'm going to take my saddle pad here. And again, her feet are hobbled, so she's not going to get in a big hurry. I'm going to make sure if they're scared of this pad, I'm going to let them see it, I'm going to let them smell it, and then I'm going to spend a minute or two rubbing on them here, getting them comfortable with this pad. Want to make sure there's no stickers or shavings or anything on their belly or on their back there that's going to get pinched down in or poked in their belly. And I'm going to rub this pad on her. The whole time I'm making sure that my knees stay towards her hind end. I never want to stand here like this. So once I feel like she's comfortable with this, then we'll move forward to the next bit. What I want you to watch is see if she's licking her lips, if her eyes get soft. Anytime a horse's mouth is tight and their body's tight, you do not need to push forward. Anytime I shortcut this stage, I always end up creating more work for myself in the future. So once she's okay with this being up here, and I can pat around on her, then I'm going to be ready to put my saddle on. Again, with her feet hobbled there, she's not going to move as much as she would. So I want to make sure all of my gear is up and out of the way. I want to let her see it. No big deal. I'm going to bump her with it. I'm not going to be overly careful here. I want her to understand that no matter what happens, this is not a big deal. Again, she's been saddled and handled a little, so girl. So I want to make sure she's okay with this thing moving around. And again, I'm going to keep my knees facing backwards. On some of them that are real nasty, you can use your latigo strap or your halter, your lead rope here to catch that. She's pretty gentle, so I'm going to make sure that I can just reach underneath here and grab it. Don't make a big deal of it if they try to bite you. Try to keep this as quiet as possible. I always start my horses with the front and a back cinch. Once we have all of that on, I'm going to let her feel that saddle for a bit, and then we'll take the halter, hobbles off, and away she'll go.